Today we're going to be looking at how to order decimals from least to greatest. And as we can see here, the first thing that we need to do in order to order decimals from least to greatest is to find the largest common place value and then compare. So in question number one, in order to make this comparison a bit easier, we're going to go ahead and rewrite these decimals down below. So we have 2 and 4 hundredths, we have 1 and 12 hundredths, and we have 1 and 34 hundredths. And as we can see here, all of our place values are properly aligning. So now we can go ahead and compare these numbers. And we can see that our largest common place value is the ones place. And in the ones place, we have a 2, a 1, and a 1. And obviously the 2 has a greater value than 1. So we know that this first decimal here of 2 and 4 hundredths is going to be our largest decimal. So since we have two numbers here in the ones place that have the same value, in order for us to properly order these decimals, we need to compare the next place value to the right. So looking at this, we can see that our next place value is the tenths place. So we're going to go ahead and compare the numbers in the tenths place. So we don't need to compare the 2 and 4 hundredths because we know that that's our greatest decimal already. So we're going to compare the numbers in the tenths place for 1 and 12 hundredths and 1 and 34 hundredths. And obviously here we can see that 3 has a greater value than 1. So we know that 1 and 34 hundredths is our second largest decimal here. So now that we figured this out, we can go ahead and order these decimals from least to greatest. And we know that our smallest decimal here is going to be 1 and 12 hundredths. Our next one is going to be 1 and 34 hundredths because the 3 has a greater value than 1 in the tenths place. And our greatest decimal here is 2 and 4 hundredths. So now for question number 2 here, we're going to go ahead and rewrite these decimals down below. So we have 1 and 4 hundredths, we have 98 hundredths, and we have 93 hundredths. So our first step is to find the largest common place value and compare. And we can see here that the largest common place value is the ones place. And we can also see that we have a 1, a 0, and a 0. And obviously 1 has a greater value than 0. So we know that this decimal here is going to be our largest decimal. So we don't have to worry about it when we're comparing our decimals further. Because obviously we can't compare our other two decimals because they have the same value in the ones place. So we're going to start comparing the place values from left to right. So since we're in the ones place, we're now going to compare the digits in our tenths place. And looking at these here, I can see that both of the decimals that we have left have the same value of 9 in the tenths place. So we're going to go ahead and now move into the hundredths place and compare the digits in our hundredths place. And in 98 hundredths, we have a value of 8 in our hundredths place. And in 93 hundredths, we have a value of 3 in our hundredths place. And obviously 8 is a number that's greater than 3, so we know that 98 hundredths is going to be our second greatest decimal here. So now that we've figured this out, we can go ahead and rewrite these decimals from least to greatest. And we can see here that our lowest decimal is 93 hundredths. Next, we have 98 hundredths. And lastly, we have 1 and 4 hundredths. So I hope this video has helped you to understand how to order decimals from least to greatest. Thanks again for watching, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. As always, enjoy today's math lesson.